Today we'll talk about the 12 bad habits and patterns of behavior that may be damaging your brain. Habit number 1 is spending too much time indoors because our bodies need to be outside and exposed to the sunlight to make vitamin D. Without enough vitamin D, you're more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, sleeping problems, and cognitive decline as you age, such as Alzheimer's, dementia, or Parkinson's disease. Sunlight also provides infrared rays which have been shown in studies to penetrate your skull and your clothes, and this triggers the brain to make melatonin. Melatonin is one of the most powerful antioxidants that protect your brain from stress and oxidative damage. Indoor environments with poor ventilation and fluorescent lights can also disrupt your brain's natural rhythms. So aim to spend at least 20 to 30 minutes outside every day to soak up the sunlight and breathe in fresh air. The second brain-damaging habit is overusing social media. Endlessly scrolling through your phone is actually designed to be addictive. It triggers your brain's reward system, releasing dopamine every time you get a like, a message, notification, or you discover something new. Over time, this constant overstimulation depletes your dopamine levels, and this leaves you feeling very unmotivated and unable to focus on everyday tasks, essentially stealing the joy and the satisfaction out of life. The blue light from screens can also disrupt melatonin production, causing overthinking at night and poor sleep. So start limiting your screen time and social media. I like to go analog, read a book, be mindful, or listen to some calming music to reset the dopamine baseline of your brain. Another bad habit is spending too much time with toxic people. These are the people that bring you down rather than those that lift you up or motivate you. These toxic types of relationships can increase your cortisol levels, putting your brain in this constant state of stress. Eventually, it shrinks the hippocampus, the part of your brain that's responsible for memory and learning. So start setting some boundaries with people who have toxic personalities and prioritize your healthy relationships instead. And another big problem is too much exposure to bad news. Don't get me wrong, it's very important to stay up to date with current events, but watching and reading bad news too often programs your brain to think you're in constant danger by activating the fight or flight response. This physically leads to shrinking and atrophy in the prefrontal cortex, which makes it harder to make decisions or control strong emotions. So limit your news intake to just a few minutes a day and instead focus on positive, uplifting stories to strengthen positive neural pathways. And the next habit may surprise you. A slouching posture reduces blood flow to the brain, leading to brain fog and fatigue where you can't focus or you struggle to remember things easily. When you slouch forward, it compresses blood vessels and nerves in your neck, restricting the flow of oxygen and nutrients to the brain. So I'd like you to start improving your posture by using the YTW stretch, and you can also practice standing or sitting up straight. You may also want to use a magnesium glycinate supplement to help relax any tight muscles in your neck or shoulders. Another bad habit for the brain is actually going on a low-fat diet. Your brain is made up of 60% fat, so it needs fats to function properly. Anything that reduces your fat or your cholesterol intake, like a low-fat diet or perhaps a statin drug, reduces the level of omega-3s and fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E and K, making your body less able to adapt and form new brain cells. So make sure that you are including healthy fats like fatty fish, avocados, seeds and red meat in your diet. But if you're thinking you want to lose weight, you should choose a low-carb diet instead of a low-fat diet. Bad habit number 7 is chronic multitasking. Now, if your brain is already working on the next task, whilst you're still doing the one you're on, you are multitasking. Multitasking too much overloads your prefrontal cortex, leading to decision fatigue where you get completely burnt out. Studies show that chronic multitasking reduces grey matter density in areas of the brain associated with focus and memory. So start slowing down, focus on one task at a time, take a short break, and then move on. By doing things one at a time, you'll end up completing all of your tasks faster, but without getting burnt out. The next brain-damaging habit is eating too many cereals and grains. The first mistake people make is thinking that grains are good for you, when in fact they aren't. Whole grains are high in omega-6, which causes inflammation in the brain. They also have a lot of phytic acid, which blocks you from absorbing critical minerals like magnesium and zinc. The more refined grains also raise insulin levels a lot and cause insulin resistance, so brain cells begin to starve of glucose and the energy that they need. So avoid eating grains, especially cereals, for breakfast. Replace them with nutrient-dense, whole proteins and vegetables. Trust me on this, you'll have much more mental focus, more energy, and no midday slumps. And then we have avoiding red meat. Red meat, especially beef and liver, are loaded with vitamin B12 and heme iron, which builds red blood cells. This is very important as they carry oxygen and nutrients to your neurons and nerve cells. Without these nutrients, people often experience fatigue, poor focus, and are more likely to suffer from attention disorders like ADHD. I suggest avoiding processed meats, but eating more high-quality grass-fed beef through the week to strengthen your brain. Now, number 10 is a little controversial. Drinking too much caffeine from coffee, tea, or soda drinks like cola can all deplete your vitamin B1 levels and overstimulate your nervous system. Too much caffeine causes anxiety, poor sleep, and adrenal fatigue over time, where your glands struggle to keep up with making cortisol, which has a negative impact on the brain. Instead, I suggest consuming only 1 cup of quality organic coffee in the morning and avoid drinking caffeinated sodas. Now, habit number 7 is a high insulin lifestyle. What do I mean by this? Well, insulin is the hormone released whenever you eat a meal or when you consume calories from drinks. Hands down, the worst thing that you can do to your brain is have high insulin all day long, which eventually causes insulin resistance and starves your brain cells. Insulin resistance is linked with dementia and neurodegenerative diseases with age. Snacking and grazing is arguably the most common trigger for insulin resistance, along with eating too many high glycemic or sugary foods. However, it is much better for your brain to do intermittent fasting, to eat less frequently, and also to focus on eating animal protein rather than carbohydrates. Intermittent fasting is actually the best antidote for brain fog. And habit number 12 is not giving healthy stimulation to the brain. The brain is a very plastic organ which can remold and reshape itself when you apply the right types of stress. Physical exercise, for example, boosts brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports the growth of new brain cells. Also, mental exercises like learning a new skill, solving puzzles, or reading can strengthen healthy neural pathways and help to revive shrunken parts of the brain. And a few other habits that I'd like you to be aware of would be things like drinking alcohol every day because it depletes neurotransmitters and actively destroys brain cells. Likewise, smoking and vaping increases oxidative stress and damages neurons. Elemental iron supplements can also have a rusting effect on the brain because they aren't metabolized properly. And eating too many larger fish on the food chain that are high in mercury can damage the nervous system over time. How to improve brain health? So avoiding the habits I've talked about is a great first step, but here's some other ways you can actively improve your brain function. Start doing high-intensity, short-burst exercises to boost BDNF and nerve growth factor. This helps the hippocampus to grow and train new brain cells to improve your memory, learning, and mood. Brain supplements. I also suggest using a high quality, well-reviewed nootropic supplement every day, which contains a blend of natural brain boosting ingredients. Personally, I use a brand every day that's called MindLabPro, which is full of ingredients shown to increase brain power. I use 2 capsules every day to help me think more clearly when producing my health videos. This supplement is backed up by clinical studies and is shown to improve brain focus, memory, mood, energy, motivation, and longevity. It also has pine bark extract and citicoline, which improves blood flow to the brain directly. I'll put a link down below the video if you'd like to try this supplement. Break habits. Identify the brain-damaging habits mentioned previously that apply to you and then begin changing them 1 or 2 at a time. Bear in mind that studies show it takes around 66 days to reprogram a habit, so be consistent and patient. Omega-3s. Start eating more oily fish that are rich in active omega-3s daily, like sardines, wild salmon, mackerel, anchovies, and shellfish. These foods help to lower neuroinflammation and repair damaged brain tissue. High-quality omega-3 supplements made from microalgae are also available, and I'll put a link down below. Sleep. Make sure that you're getting at least 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep to balance cortisol and repair brain cells. If you aren't doing this, I recommend using tryptophan before bed or perhaps using a sleep blend like PerformanceLab Sleep. Probiotics. Begin eating foods rich in probiotics which colonize your gut with friendly bacteria like sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles, kefir, tempeh, apple cider vinegar, and yogurt. The microbes in these foods help to produce neurotransmitters and B vitamins in your gut, which can relieve anxiety, stress, or poor mental focus. Brain training. Encourage your brain to start making new connections by taking a course, learning new skills, solving puzzles, or reading. This healthy stimulation boosts neuroplasticity and helps to revive parts of the brain that may have shrunk. Low carb. Follow a healthy version of the ketogenic diet and cut your carbohydrates down periodically to less than 50 grams a day. This is amazing for reducing neuroinflammation. It improves blood flow, memory, concentration, thinking, and sleep by boosting ketones. Choline. I would also suggest eating more foods rich in choline like egg yolks, organ meats, fish, and blueberries. This nutrient is used by your body to build acetylcholine, a key neurotransmitter that improves your memory and your neuroplasticity, helping the brain to form new connections. I've also made a video showing you how to multiply your brain cells directly. If you'd like more information, watch the video that I've put on the screen now. Thank you so much for watching another of my videos. I wish you great health, wealth, and happiness.